Welcome to another solo episode of Your Career Cure. Welcome, everyone. It's Gail Tolstoi-Miller, and today's episode is a very important one. And it's all about career and job search anxiety. And what I'm finding is, especially now because of COVID and uncertainty and all of the other stresses that typically don't happen during COVID, people at this point have more anxiety than typical. So I am going to give you some tips on how to remedy some of the anxiety that you may have. And it actually can help you with other areas of your life besides your career and job search. So the first part is going to be more of practical tips, things that you can do physically, and then the other part is going to be more specific to your career and job. So it can help you in all facets of your life. So typically when you have anxiety, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up as well. So what can you do? A great way to alleviate some of your anxiety and to lower your heart rate a little bit so you don't have the palpitations and lower your blood pressure is to take deep breaths. And that really helps. So when I say slow, deep breaths, I mean 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. And you do it over again. 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. Also, what helps while you're doing that, if you could stand up and open up your shoulders and put them back and open your chest, that is a game changer as well. If you're not able to stand up, that's okay. What's the most important is that your shoulders are back and your chest is open. So that is one tip. Also, we actually hold a lot of anxiety and stress in our jaw. Hence, teeth grinding and all of that. And clenching, teeth clenching, TMJ. So a lot of times when you have anxiety, your jaw is tightening. So another way of doing it is releasing the energy in your jaw. And all you have to do is just lower the bottom part of your jaw and just let it hang instead of clenching. So that's another remedy. And all these things add up, okay? It's not just one thing that's going to help you. If you do a lot of different things, and you could do things that work the best for you, but these are just different tips. Another thing that you can do, and this is, I think, pretty well known, is walking and exercising. I mean, that's huge. It really helps your brain. It boosts your mood, and it gives you confidence. And especially in career and job search, a big part of this is a lack of confidence. And that's what I find in my 25 years of experience, is that people lack confidence, they're worrying. So walking and exercise for anyone is just a game changer. And also it gives you more clarity from a thought process. So it also even helps, a study just came out, it actually helps to prevent Alzheimer's. So there is only good that comes out of walking and exercise. Also, listening to music can be very cathartic and really calm your brain and really help relieve anxiety. Now, they say, studies show, that you should listen to very calming music. Right? There's a lot of calming music out there, and it really does help you just kind of zone out, and you put your headset on, and it's just really, really calming. And I do that myself, and it really helps. But for me also, When I feel anxiety throughout my body and I really feel it, I feel like I have to let it out of my body. And I love heavy metal music. And there's something about that music that is just really energizing, and I feel the energy go through my body. It's like some head banging. That is relief for me. So whatever works for you, again, calming music does work, but if you're someone like me that loves heavy metal and there's just something about that music that you could feel the energy go through and the anxiety coming out, more power to you. Go for it. Whatever, works for you. If it's rap music, whatever it is, I say go for it. And also meditation. Meditation can really help. And, there's free resources online, on, TV. There's different ways that you can meditate. Now, I know meditation could be really hard for a lot of people. It is for me to just quiet your mind, but it's something that takes work for a lot of people and practice, and the more you do it, the better you get. So that's something that you may want to look into. Also, green tea actually calms the brain, and it's a good tea to drink. Also, chamomile tea as well. If you're feeling very jittery, it'll just calm you down naturally, which is good. Also, distracting yourself from your anxiety. The tapping method. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. You may want to look that up online. There's YouTube videos, and you could tap yourself. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like you tap yourself a couple of times, like on your head. There's different points, pressure points. Check it out. It's really interesting, and I've tried it. Actually at the supermarket, because I get really frustrated and anxiety ridden at the supermarket where I live because it's complete insanity. And I've really tried it, and it's helped. So anything that can distract you from your anxiety, drawing, or something else, pets, focus on your pet. I mean, pets are amazing and very therapeutic. So that is another way to relieve your anxiety. Now, there's something called the 5-5-5 method that can really be valuable to you. And that's very similar to distracting yourself. It's kind of a way of distracting yourself. And what that is you name 5 things that you see in front of you. And then the other 5 is the 5 sounds you hear. What do you hear around you? And then move 5 body parts. So it could be your head, your fingers, your toes, your ankle. And that will distract you from your anxiety. It's kind of like a pause, right? By doing that, it kind of breaks up the anxiety and takes you away from it. Also, lavender. I mean, I love lavender. Lavender oil is awesome. I mean, it helps me get to bed, so it definitely has a calming effect. So you may want to have lavender around, put it on your temples. You could even breathe it in a little bit, and it does have a calming effect. And it is good to use before you go to bed, especially if you have a lot of anxiety. If you stay up late, it's a good way to relax you. Now, what's the old cliche? Laughing is the best thing. It's the best medicine. Watch something funny and laugh. It's very, very powerful. So that's something that you should definitely try if you find that you're, anxiety ridden. Now, this next tip might seem counterintuitive, but it's not. And that's actually accepting your anxiety and saying, okay, I've got this anxiety. I get it. You're not going to beat yourself over it. And you're going to use my so what method. You're going to be like, okay, I own it. So what? I'm going through this and I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get through this anxiety and I'm going to focus. Again, you're going to kind of reframe it. Um, and another good way of reframing it is actually writing down your feelings and challenging the feelings that you have and your reality. Because a lot of times the anxiety you have is really about um, getting really worried about something, right? Like you're worried about your career, you're worried about your job, and it gives you anxiety, and it's just like this vicious cycle, and then other thoughts come into play, and then everything just seems horrible. But if you can reframe it somehow and write down your feelings, then you're able to accept the fact that you have this, and then you could change your thoughts. Maybe switch it, right? You switch, you say, this is how I'm feeling, but you know what? Maybe it's not the truth. Maybe that's not my reality. That's what I'm thinking, but maybe I could change how I feel, change the perspective. Another good way to relieve anxiety is nature. Just, sitting on your front step, going outside, and just appreciating nature. And that kind of gets to my next point is gratitude. Just having gratitude for the things that are, going well in your life. Especially now, just, people are having such a rough time. And I don't mean to dismiss whatever you're going through. I have no idea what you're going through. And you might be going through some really heavy, heavy stuff. But having, try to find a little bit of gratitude in your life. And that's always helpful. Now, the next thing that I'm going to discuss is feng shui. And I've been studying feng shui for many, 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 many years. And it's all about energy. I'm not going to go into a whole big thing about it. You may want to look it up. But what I would say about feng shui, it's about balance. And it's about your surroundings. And the first thing that comes to mind is clutter. And clutter can bring a lot of anxiety. But it could also be reflective of the fact that you have anxiety and you don't want to do anything. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle, right? When you have this clutter. And once you relieve some of the clutter, if you do have clutter, it is such a game changer. It's such a game changer. Like, have you ever cleaned out your closet and you feel just like so much better, or you cleaned your basement? Like I did it during COVID. I cleaned out my entire basement, and I felt 100 times better. I mean, it was a disaster. So your surroundings can have a huge impact, and I really suggest that you look up feng shui because it's about colors and shapes. Some people think it's crazy, like sometimes my kids think I'm a little crazy with the feng shui, but it's really helped me. It's helped me really gain clarity and stay focused. And also, obviously, talking to someone, like talk to a therapist, because a lot of times when you have anxiety, sometimes the people that are closest to you don't understand. And it really can't hurt to talk to a professional about it if you find that you need a professional. And again, it can hurt, especially if you're going through anxiety over your career, your job, or any other kind of anxiety in your life. So that's another tip. Now, the next tips that I'm going to go and advise you on are more related to the career and job search. Now, as far as your career, let's say I'm going to provide some examples. First thing I want you to know is that when it comes to career and your job search, you are not alone. Millions and millions of people are going through the same thing. I know it might not help your situation, you don't care, but I'm just telling you, millions and millions of people are going through this. And I will tell you, through all my years of recruiting experience and career coaching experience, as difficult it may seem right now, there is light at the end of the tunnel. you will find a job eventually. And I know you may have bills to pay, but you will find something. If you hate your job, you have the power to change your situation. So if you're not happy, I want to first tackle what not being happy in your current job. Okay, let's say you hate your boss, or you hate the company that you are working for and you feel trapped. I'm going to tell you that no job is permanent. Remember that. No job is permanent. And when you can realize that there is no permanency in any job that you have, then you could take your power back and say, okay, I hate my job. I hate my boss. This is not going to last forever. This is just going to get me to the next step. So the next time you go into your work, say, okay, this is my situation now, but I'm going to take baby steps to either try to work this out if you think that you can work it out, or if you can't, you are going to take the necessary steps to get the heck out of there. And just know, anytime your boss is not treating you right, or you just hate it, just keep saying to yourself, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. Don't get paralyzed. The worst thing you can do is get caught in the drama in your head over this. And I know it's really difficult and it's anxiety ridden, and it can make it worse. And then you feel paralyzed and helpless, and you feel like you have no confidence. You've got to take your power back and your confidence back and know that you can move forward and make the changes. I mean, I want you to think about a time in your life that you went through something really difficult. And at that time, you felt like there was no way out. And it was really, really hard. But you saw a light at the end of the tunnel and you got through it. I want you to see this the same way. You are not a slave to your job. They don't own you. And you've got choices. You may feel like you have no choices, but you do. Even if you have to do a side hustle and start doing something that you love, and start doing that when you get home if you have time. Something to get you started. Get your resume together. You should always have your resume together. And just stay calm and know eventually you will get yourself out of this situation. It is not a permanent one. Now, if you are not working and you're looking for a job, I am going to tell you that baby steps is the best way to do this, because it could feel very overwhelming. And when you feel overwhelmed with anxiety, then you get nothing done. And then you start feeling bad about yourself and you've got all these bad thoughts. So just stay focused and do a little bit each day. Make a checklist and write everything down of the things that you need to do. Even if it's just 30 minutes or 15 minutes, just accomplish something each single day. Now, I want to talk about interviewing. I find that a lot of people or candidates have anxiety over interviews because they feel they have no confidence. And I will tell you the best way to overcome that is practice. Practice, practice, practice. And when I say practice, I will tell you that you must record yourself. It is eye-opening. I do that with my clients, and I will tell you, when they hear their voice, that's the first reaction. It's like, oh my gosh, I hate my voice. And that's so natural. I'm just like warning you. But also when you see it, right? So you can record yourself on Zoom, and once you see that, then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm learning a lot, and now I could change this. So I would say be brave. It takes bravery, but it's the only way to break through and really become the best interviewee that you can. And it's really worth it. You must do it. And again, the more you do it, the more you practice, the more confident you get, and the less anxiety ridden that you will be when you go on the interview. Because a lot of times the anxiety and the buildup sabotages your interview because the person interviewing can sense it, and plus the words, you're not having as much confidence in yourself. So the types of words and how you're describing your background and yourself won't be optimum. You're not going to be able to put your best foot forward. And also, before you go on the interview, I want you to do some of the things that I stated before. You know, the deep breathing, get yourself in kind of like in the Zen mode before you interview. Okay? And those are my tips to help with anxiety. I hope it helps you. Even if a couple help you, it's worth it. Um, and don't forget, happy career, happy life.